Today we're gonna study a grammar lesson so that we change things a bit. Yes, Abdullah. Abdullah, you raised your hand, love.
Mr.
Pardon me? Come again, Abdullah.
Mr. Can I speak in Arabic?
What for? What do you want?
ما حضرتني يا مستر.
Are you sure? I'm gonna check.
أنا ما سمعت.
Let me know at the end of the class. Okay, we're gonna sort this out at the end of the class, all right? So, but if you have attended, I must have checked your name. Anyway, today, inshallah, we're gonna talk about understanding verb forms. And as we learned before, the verb is the most important part in a sentence, in English, of course. And we also have gone to as far as considering the verb as being the nucleus of the sentence. So the sentence is actually built around this verb. Okay, so and this verb, of course, takes different forms. And these forms is what we're going to talk about today, inshallah. So I'm going to start with Abdullah Lainazi. Abdullah Lainazi. Abdullah?
Yes, Mr.
Can you read for us, love?
First, what are the principal parts of verbs?
Yes.
Like people, verbs, wear different clothes for different
occasions.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're staying at home, you wear some clothes. You are in your pajamas, for example. But if you're going to the mosque, you wear a thobe. If you're wearing to school, you're going to school and you have a PE class, you wear your tracksuit, right? So likewise, verbs have different shapes or different forms based on what? Based on the tense, based on where they occur in a sentence. All right? Yes. So, for example, can you read this example for us?
He wore jeans on Saturday.
Very good. Where is the verb here, Abdullah?
The verb?
Yes, in this sentence. He wore jeans on Saturday. Where's the verb here? Wore. Very good. Excellent, Aboudi Habibi. So here is the verb, actually. Very good. So did you know that the verb wore is a different form of the verb wear?
Yeah.
So yeah, very good. So we are talking about the verb wear here, right? So we are talking about the verb wear. All right? Okay. So let me see who's joining. Yes. Welcome again, Sulaiman. Okay, so he wore jeans. When did he wear these jeans, Abdullah?
Yes.
When did he wear these jeans?
On Saturday.
Very good. And Saturday is past or present or future?
On Saturday, it's past.
Very good. We're talking about past or last Saturday, actually. All right. Very good, Aboudi. So I'm going to move on to Abdullah Al-Garni. Abdullah Habibi.
Yes.
Good morning, love. So how about this sentence, Aboudi? Sorry. Yeah.
He often wears a suit.
Very good. Where is the verb here, Abdullah Habibi?
Wears.
Very good. What form does it take here? It takes a different form from this verb, right? It's similar to the base form, but we added an S to it. So the base form is wear. All right? The base form is wear, and we added an S to it. So when do you think he wears his suit? Is it in the past? Or is it in the future? Or it's in the present?
Future.
No, actually, no, Abdullah. Think about it. He often. Look at the word often here. What does the word often mean?
Don't know in English, but it means غالبا, right?
غالبا. Yeah, very good. So you are talking about generally or repeated actions here. You are talking about an activity which is, or an action which is wearing a suit which is repeated. You're not talking about now. You're not talking about yesterday. You're not talking about the future. You're talking about something that is repeated often. That's often
Yes.
or often repeated. Yeah. So what do we call this? We call this actually present. But what type of present? Because we have different types of present here. We call it present simple. When do we use this present simple? Repeated. We use it with repeated actions. All right? We
Yes.
use it with repeated actions rather than talking about a specific occasion. Do you understand this, Abdullah?
Yes.
Good. Does everybody understand what's going on so far?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, is there anybody who doesn't understand? So here we talked about specific occasion. What do we mean by occasion, boys? What does occasion mean?
Can you repeat, Mr. please?
What does the word occasion mean?
زمن.
Occasion like munasaba. And if we are talking about specific occasion, we're talking about an incident or an event that happened or is happening or will happen at a specific occasion. في وقت معين، في مناسبة محددة، أنا عرفت إن في حاجة بعينها صارت في وقت معين. That's what we call by specific occasion. So here, is this a specific occasion here? He often wears a suit. No. Because this is something which is repeated. I'm talking generally. Right? But here, I'm talking about a specific occasion that happened on Saturday. Here, I'm talking about a specific occasion that happened on Saturday. Right, boy? Do you understand the difference between specific occasion and repeated actions?
Yes.
Yes.
Repeated action, it's repeated, generally speaking here. We're not talking about specific occasion. We're not talking about a certain time. We're not talking about a certain time when he wore or will wear or is wearing this this suit actually. All right?
Yes.
Right, boys? Very good. Now I'm going to move on to Dr. Abdullah Al-Hidayti. I'm going to move on to Dr. Abdullah Al-Hidayti. Hold on a second, boys. Just I apologize, boys. Apologize. Please accept my apologies. Okay, let's get back. So, did you know the difference in terms of the occasion or the action here? So, this refers to a specific occasion, while this doesn't refer to a specific occasion. This is this happened on Saturday, and this happens often. This happens often here. All right, boys. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Abdullah. Abdullah Al-Hidayti, are you with me?
Yes,
Abdullah
mister.
Al-Hidayti? Yes, love. Let's move on to sentence 3. Can you read it for us, love?
He has worn ca
Casual clothes.
casual clothes, mister.
Yeah. When, Abdullah? When has he worn casual clothes?
He
Yes. What am I talking about
has.
here? I'm talking about before now. So he has worn casual clothes before now or before. We can also say before. So we can tag this sentence with the word before. All right. So, but when exactly? When exactly? We didn't specify when exactly. But we said he has worn these clothes before. Before now, and that's it. You see the difference? So, what shape, what form does the verb take here? The verb has actually two parts. One is an auxiliary, which is has, and the second is the third conjugation of the verb. And inshallah, in a few minutes, we are going to talk about the third conjugation and the different conjugations of the verb. All right? Do you understand so far, boys? So
Yes.
if we're talking about something that happened at a specific time in the past, we use a certain form, which is the second conjugation of the verb. If we are talking about something that generally happens or a repeated action, we use the first conjugation of the verb. And if we are talking about something that happened before now, but in an unspecified time, we use the present perfect. And that's what we are going to talk about later, inshallah. All right, I'm going to move on. Before I move on, do you have any questions? Any questions, boys? Okay, so let's move on. So, who's next? I think who's next on my list? I think it's we talked to Abdullah participated. Abdullah Hidayati. Now I'm gonna move to Ahmed Faiz. Ahmed Faiz, love.
Yes.
Can you read for us, love?
Verb have four principal parts, each
Yes.
of which performs a different function.
Yeah. What does this mean, Ahmed? What do you understand from this? Verbs have four principal parts, each of which performs a different function. Right? Like if you have a thobe and a tracksuit and the shimag and the ghotra, and if you have like pajamas, these are four types of clothes.
Yes.
Right, Ahmed?
Yes.
But let's see, for example, the tracksuit. When can you wear the tracksuit, Ahmed? Yeah?
Suit.
You can wear them to school if you have a PE class, right? So you can also wear them at home. You can wear them if you will go to play football with your friends at the football field.
Yes.
Or the nearby. You can wear them if you are going to have a walk in the nearby park, right? So, so the same type of clothes, you can use them in different occasions, right?
Yes.
But you have also different types of clothes, right? Similarly, the verb has different types. So the first type of verbs, or the first form of verbs, is what we call the base form. Yeah?
Yes.
What does base form mean, Ahmed?
Base form.
Yeah. That's like الشكل الأساسي. الشكل الأساسي for the verb.
Yes.
Do you understand it, Ahmed? So we have an example with the verb sing. So this is the base form of the verb sing. And we have another example with the verb ask. So this is the base form of the verb ask. All right?
All right.
Right, boys? Muhammad Rafa. Muhammad Rafa. Muhammad Rafa. All right. So I'm
yes,
gonna have
yes,
Hamoudi Habibi. Do you understand what we mean by the? Can you explain again what we mean by the base form of the verb?
The base form is another word for it is the infinitive. It's
not infinitive, not exactly infinitive,
no?
but okay, let's say yeah. So the infinitive takes two plus the infinitive is actually two plus the base form of the verb. Because you need to differentiate between the base form and the infinitive, Hamoudi Habibi, because I know there is a lot of confusion about this even among teachers, but I really object on naming the base form of the verb as the infinitive, because grammatically speaking, what does infinitive mean? Infinitive means to plus the base form. Right, Hamoudi?
Yes.
Other books differentiate between full infinitive and bare infinitive. Full infinitive is to plus the base form of the verb. And bare infinitive, if you might say so, this is another name for the base form itself without to. So you gotta be careful when you use the word infinitive, because infinitive includes to plus the base form of the verb. All right? Do you understand this, Hamoudi love?
Yes.
Cool. I love you, man. Very good. Very good. Okay. So let's get back to talk about the base form of the verb. That's the original form of the verb with no changes whatsoever. So what do we mean when we are talking about the base form of the verb, boys? We're talking about the original part of the verb, or the original form of the verb with no changes whatsoever. Right, Mazen? Do you understand this, Mazen?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the base form again, Mazen, Habibi?
Is the original
Form of the verb with no
original
changes
form for the, yes,
whatsoever.
it's no change.
Yes, very good. Yeah, Muhammad al-Muhsin.
Yes.
This is the first form of the verb, which is the base form. What do we mean by the base form of the verb?
Base form of the verb.
Yes.
Verb have 4 principal parts.
Yes, very good. And the first principal part is the base form. And that
Yes.
means the basic form, or the original form with no changes. Like the word ask. Do you see any changes on the word ask here? Does it have an S, for example, an added S? Does it have an added ED? Does it have an added ING? No,
ED.
of course not. That's why it is the base form of the verb ask. Similarly, the word sing. The word sing is in the base form here. It doesn't have any inflections or anything, or any syllables or any suffixes added to the verb. All right? So now I'm going to move to Faisal Ajmi. Faisal Ajmi. Faisal Ajmi is not responding again. Okay. So I'm going to move, then I'm going to have to move to, after Faisal, we have Mazen Habibi. Yes, Mazen.
Yes.
Next, love. Let's see here. What do we have here?
Present participle.
Yeah, what do we mean by the present participle?
That is happening right now.
Very good, very good. That's, but we're talking about the form only. We're not talking about the tense. We're going to talk about the tense later, Mazen. Very good. But the present participle is the ing form of the verb. When you take the base form and add an ing to the base form, that's what we call the present participle. It's present when we add am or is or are before it. Right? So when we add the verb be, when can we use the ing form of the verb? When after the auxiliary be, which is am, is, are. And of course, there's a past from a form of be, which is was and were. We're going to talk about this later, inshallah. So we're talking about the participle form of the verb, which is the ing form. Normally, we use this form with the verb be. But does it have any other uses? Yes, of course. It has other uses. Like, for example, after a preposition, all right? Or at the beginning of the sentence, when you change in the gerund form, when you change the verb into a noun. But this is something beyond the scope of our class today. All right? So let's move on to my dear boy, Muhammad Rafa.
Yes.
So the past form of the verb, what's the
Sang.
past form of the verb?
Sang.
Very good. The past form of the verb is we have two different types of past form of the verb, or the second conjugation of the verb. One is regular, that's when we add ed, and the other is irregular. That's when we change the verb itself, or actually we don't change it at all. So we have two types of the second conjugation of the verb. One is regular and the other is irregular. Thank you. Now I'm going to move to, yes.
Why are there regular and irregular? Why are
the regular? Yes, regular. Thank you. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking this wonderful question, Muhammad. So it's regular when we add ed. So because the rule says if you want to change the verb into the second conjugation, add d or ed. But if it doesn't follow the rule, we call it irregular. See this verb here? See this verb here saying it's irregular. Why? Because it doesn't follow the rule. What rule? The ed rule.
Yes, I understand, but
yeah,
I'm asking, why are there irregulars? I understand.
All languages are like this, Muhammad. Simply because grammar came around after we have started to speak the language. We didn't set the grammar rules first, and then we started to speak the language. We spoke the language first, and then grammar came later on. Have you got my point, love?
Yes.
Yeah. So because people started to make rule after they listened and to people speak. Even in Arabic, we have irregular forms. Right, love?
Yes.
Like, for example, do you remember something like the plural form in Arabic? So if it is male plural form, it is ya wa nun and wa wa nun. And if it is female, we have alif and ta, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. But what if you have, don't we have like jam' taksir?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And this is a regular form of the jam', of the plural form, right? So it happens in all language. But the only explanation here is that people started to speak the language before we make the rules. We hadn't made the rule first, and then we started to make the language. You get it, Hamoudi?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for asking this wonderful question. That's a very deep question, love. All right. So let's move on to second participation for let's move on to Abdullah Al-Anazi, Habibi. Abdullah Al-Anazi. Abdullah Al-Anazi, are you there? Abdullah? Abdullah? So I'm going to have to move to Abdullah Al-Garni.
Yes.
Yes, love. Let me just... This not responding. Okay. So let's move on to Abdullah Al-Garni. Yes, Aboudi Habibi. Now, before we move on with you, how many forms have we studied now? For example, for the verb ask, we have ask, asking, or ask, actually, American ask, and British, of course, ask. Sorry, guys, excuse my British accent. Ask, asking, and asked. Right? How many forms have we studied so far for the verb ask? 3. Base form, participle form, and the second conjugation or the past form. And how many forms have we studied for the verb sing?
3.
3 forms: sing, singing, and sang. And we call the verb sing as being irregular. Why is it irregular? Because it doesn't follow the rule that says we should add ed to the verb. All right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now let's move on to the past participle form.
Mr.
Yes, love.
Abdullah told you that he can't open the mic. He has a problem.
He can't use his mic. You can write in the chat box, Abdullah. Tell him he can write in the chat box to show me that he's around. Okay, so thank you, Abdullah. Thank you. All right, love. All right. But do you understand? Are you following us? Please confirm if you understand and are you following us. Yes, okay, thank you, Aboudi. Okay, Abdullah Al-Garni. So what are we talking about here?
Past participle.
Past participle. What do we mean by the past participle, Abdullah?
Something that happened in the past.
Not really, but okay, you're close. Can't use the mic. This is for Abdullah Al-Anadi. Sorry, guys. I need to make a note here. All right. So yes, Abdullah. Yeah, what's the form here? We call this form the third conjugation of the verb. So we had to differentiate between second conjugation of the verb, and we need to also differentiate between the third conjugation, of the verb. All right. So we have two types of conjugation here. The first conjugation, we haven't discussed it yet, and the second conjugation, we use it with the past, and we have the third conjugation of the verb with which we use have or has an auxiliary plus the third conjugation of the verb. And what do we call this? We call it the past participle. We use it to refer to action that happened before now, without specifying the exact time when it happened or when it has happened actually. All right, boys. So let's move on to speak more about the participle, because we have two types of participle here. We have present participle, which is the ing form, and we have past participle. And I'm gonna ask my dear boy Mazen to tell us more about the participle. Yes, Mazen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Mazen. Tell us more about the participles, love. Oh, I skipped Ahmed. Sorry, Mazen. I'm gonna ask Ahmed. Sorry, I skipped Abdullah and Ahmed. I'm so sorry, boys. Abdullah Hadithi. Abdullah.
Yes, mister.
So we're talking about the participle, love. What do we mean by participle?
When used as a part of a verb,
Phrase. Like we said before, am is are plus the verb ing, have has plus the verb, the third conjugation of the verb. This is the first one, which is am is are plus the verb plus ing is the present participle. And the second one, which is the third conjugation of the verb, we call it the past participle of the verb. All right. Yeah, Aboudi. So participle follow a helping verb. So participle actually should be preceded by a helping verb, like the verb be we said before, or like the verb have or has. All right, or even had. Yeah. Look at the first example, Abdullah.
Yes.
Look at the first example and read it for us.
Who's asking?
Yes. Where is the participle here? Where is the participle here, Abdullah? The participle form.
Is asking.
Where is it?
Who's
this is the participle form, right?
Yes.
Yes, I love you, man. What type of participle here do we have? What do we call it? We call it present participle. In order to use the present participle, I used a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. What's the auxiliary verb that I have used here? The verb be. So in order to use the present participle, we need to have one form of the verb be. All right, Abdullah?
All right.
Abdullah?
Yes.
Now, let's move on to the second example here. Can you read it for us, Abdullah?
The Bills had
That's
wrong.
Remember, boys, we have the verb ring. The base form is ring. The first conjugation is either ring or rings. The second conjugation is rang The third conjugation, the third conjugation is wrong. So which conjugation have we used here? So ring, the first conjugation is ring or rings. The second conjugation is rang. The third conjugation is rung. Which conjugation have we used here, Dr. Abdullah Habibi?
Wrong.
Rung. Yeah. Which form have we used here? We call it third conjugation of the verb. What is it? We are talking about the verb. We are talking about the verb rung here. All right, love? We are talking about the verb rung. What's rung? The third conjugation. So what about had rung all together? We call this, what do we call this? We call this actually, we call this, what do we call it? The participle form of the verb, the past participle form of the verb. What is this again? Past participle form of the verb. All right. How about the word had? What do we call the word had? Anybody? The word had is actually what? It's actually a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb. Or some books prefer to refer to them as helping verb. Right? These are verbs that has a function, but it doesn't have meaning. It performs a function rather than a meaning. Like the word sawfa in Arabic. You know the word sawfa in Arabic?
Yes.
So, can I say ana sawfa sayyara?
No.
No, I can't say ana sawfa sayyara. Why? Because the word sawfa only refers to the future. It does the function. It tells me that this verb will happen in the future, right? When I say ana sawfa ashtari sayyara, what does the word sawfa do here? It performs a function. What function? It tells us that this is gonna happen in the future. Do you understand, boys? So a helping verb actually does a function rather than give a meaning. So what's a helping verb again, boys? A helping verb does or performs a function, performs a function rather than, what do you mean by the word function? What do we mean by the word function, boys? It's like a job. It's like a task. Like وظيفة. يقوم بوظيفة. Rather than gives a meaning. All right, boys? Do you understand? So, does the word had here give me any meaning? Does it contribute to the meaning? Excuse me? Does it contribute to the meaning? Guys, why aren't you responding? Do you understand?
Yes, mister.
I'm going to ask Ahmed Faiz Al-Anazi. Please stay with me. Even if you can't answer my question, don't worry, love. All right? So let's get back here to Ahmed Al-Anazi.
Yes.
What do we call the word had? Ahmed Al-Anazi.
Helping verb.
Helping verb, I love you, or an auxiliary verb. I love you, Hamoudi. Why do we call it a helping or an auxiliary verb? What is it? Performs a function.
Function either gives
a meaning. Very good. What do we mean by the word function?
The word function.
Yes. Like وظيفة.
Yes.
It does a وظيفة or a job, but it doesn't give any meaning.
Yes.
Have you got it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here we have a verb phrase and this verb phrase has two parts, the main verb, which is run, and the auxiliary verb. Together, they form something which is called past participle form of the verb. Yes. What do you want to say, Ahmed Habibi?
I want to read it.
Pardon me? Come again, please.
What?
What do you want to say? Have you said anything?
No.
No. All right, boys. So thank you, Hamoudi love. I'm going to move to my dear boy who's next to Ahmed. Let me see. I have Faisal, but Faisal is not responding. I hope you can respond or confirm your attendance, Faisal, at least through the chat box. Now, I'm going to move to Mazen.
Yes.
Mazen, do you understand, love?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide. So as you can see, here is a helping verb, and had is a helping verb. So, but here we have past present participle, but this one is called past participle. So, can you read for us, Mazen?
Yes. These principal parts are used to form all of the different verb tenses.
What do we mean by tenses, boys? When we talk about tense, we're talking about time plus meaning. You gotta be careful. So we are talking about time plus, when we talk about tense, we are talking about time plus meaning. In what way? So does the tense give us the time of the verb of the action? Yes. Does it give an extra meaning? Yes. For example, if I say, I like computer game, or I play computer games. What's the tense here? The tense is present.
Yes.
Right, boys? So the tense for this sentence actually is present. Let's see. So the tense here, sorry, the time, I'm so sorry, I apologize. The time is present, right? But how about the meaning? Does it give an extra meaning? Because we have 4 types of present. Can you believe it? We have 4 types of present. Present simple, present progressive, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. So how do I differentiate between these verbs? The meaning differentiate between these verbs. And the meaning that I have here, meaning is that this thing is generally speaking. I'm speaking generally, right? Do you understand? But what if I use another sentence here? Look at this sentence, Mazen. I am playing computer games. Aha. So this is very different from this. Although they have the same time. What's the time here? What's the time here, Mazen?
Present.
Yes, very good. The time is actually present. Please bear with me. It's a bit awkward. Time. It's also present. But is it the same as the one before?
No.
Why? Because the meaning is different. Have you got it, boys?
Yes.
Because the meaning is different. In what way the meaning is different? In what way the meaning is different here, Mazen? Meaning that's something, or an action actually, an action that is happening now at the moment of speaking. Right, Mazen?
Oh, yes.
So what are you doing now, love? Hey, Mazen. Hey, Umar, what's up? What are you doing? I'm playing computer games. When? Now. Right, Mazen?
Yes.
So the difference between this sentence and this sentence is on the level, on the meaning level. or meaning-wise, if we might say so. Okay, but the similarity is they both have the same time, which is,
Present.
but the meaning is,
Different.
as a consequence of the difference in meaning, we have a difference in form. We have a difference in form. What do we mean by difference in form, Mazen? So is the form of the verb the same?
No.
Where's the verb? What's the verb form here?
Play.
And here,
Play.
I'm playing. So the difference in meaning results in a difference in the form. Right, boys?
Yes.
Has anybody got the time, please? What time is it now?
Yes, we finished.
We
The
finished.
class is finished. Oh, so
Yes.
sorry, guys. You know, that's me. That's always me. Okay, boys. So please remember where we stopped. We're going to continue, inshallah, on Sunday. Have you learned about the new changes in the timetable?
What new changes?
We're going to start classes at 2, and then we're going to study for 2 classes. Then we're going to have like al-Asr break. And then we're going to continue with another 2 classes after al-Asr, inshallah. So 2 classes before al-Asr, then a break for al-Asr. And we're going to send you the schedule, inshallah. But the classes will start at 2. The first class will start at 2. The second class will start at 2:40. The third class will start at after al-Asr prayer. So we're going to have a break for like half an hour, I think. And then we're going to continue with the other, the third class and the fourth class. Any question, boys, before we leave?
No, thanks.
I hope you guys understand the difference or the last point that we confirmed. Sulaiman al-Mahid, no, thank you. Okay, thank you, Sulaiman. Okay, guys, before I leave, please rate the class, gentlemen. Okay, rate the class before we leave, please. Oh, okay, only 2 people like the class. Oh, 4 people. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So thanks everyone. So 80% of the attendees liked my class. That is a very good percentage. Thank you, boys. And those who didn't like the class, can you let me know on Sunday, inshallah, what is it that you didn't like about my class, so that I can fix it. Thank you very much indeed. Have a very good day and happy Ramadan. Happy Ramadan for you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. See you.